In recent years, Netflix has been directing resources towards TV and film for international markets, with some of their most successful outings coming from Germany. The most notable of which being the critically acclaimed mystery show, Dark. And if the release of the post-apocalyptic drama Tribes of Europa is anything to go by, the German film industry has plenty more to offer. Which if you know me, you know I'm very excited about this. Let's just say I'm Bartos, and the international TV shows Netflix produces are Eric's Drug Stash.
Jackpot.
Before we get into the review, could you please give the video a like and subscribe to the Culture Cave? Myself and Konrad have a load of TV and film reviews coming, as well as all of our podcasts, all the usual stuff. So thank you very much for your support. Let's get into the review. Tribes of Europa is a story of a separated family facing great odds in their pursuit to be reunited. In fact, the setup of the season is very similar to the Starks of Game of Thrones. Like Arya, Sansa, Jon and Bran, the children of the Origines, Liv, Keanu and Alia, have been scattered across the continent of Europa. We follow each of them as they fall in with various characters, some of them well-meaning and others not so much. Speaking of the Origines, they are a tribe that live in the forest. You see, there was an event in 2029 which led to the downfall of society. The nations as we know them have been disbanded, and in their place there are a load of tribes, some huge like the terrifying Crows or the idealistic Crimsons. Our tribe that we follow is called the Origine tribe, and when the story starts they live in a forest where they've retreated to for safety decades ago. The serenity of their life is thrown into disarray when a plane of a far-off tribe crash lands nearby. This crash catches the attention of the murderous Crows. You see, the plane was Atalantean, who have apparently got the most advanced technology in the world, which is of course highly sought after. This clash with the Crows is what breaks the Origines up and sends the main characters on their journeys. I really liked the work that they put into realizing the different tribes throughout the continent. Each was unique and well realized, if a little derivative. In the Crows, we have the genuine bad guys, the black-wearing, slave-owning bad guys. Compared to the rest of the tribes, the Crows definitely had the least to empathize with. Having said that, on an individual level, there were one or two of the Crows that were given the beginnings of a redemptive arc, but nothing anywhere near the realm of being on their side. Out of our heroes, the Journey of Keanu is the storyline which resonated with me the most. His struggles are severe, and each of his actions are understandable and match his characterization. I'm also very intrigued at the direction his character is taking, if there is to be a second season. Will he continue on his virtuous path to get back to his tribe? Or will he be tempted by and succumb to the surroundings he finds himself in? I'm looking forward to finding out. The decision to have the series be in English and German really added to the immersion for me. It added a sense that the catastrophe really was worldwide and not just in Germany. I also must admit that there were times that I was so engrossed in what was happening on the screen that I continued to read the subtitles even though the characters were speaking English. I failed to realize this on many occasions. The inspirations that are being drawn are plain to see. From the dystopia of Mad Max and the Hunger Games, to the underdog story of slavery that is Gladiator, to the clear parallels between houses fighting for control like in Game of Thrones. In fact, as I've already mentioned as well, we have the idea of the family-centric nature, just like the HBO fantasy show as well. And although these references are clear to see, for me, the show manages to create its own world which is unique enough to warrant being made. Another big aspect which added to the world building for me was the costumes. I mean, sure, the Crows were the stereotypical fantasy bad guys, all dressed in black. However, I think there was enough nuance in the costumes of their world, which gave them a fresh feel for me. For example, the Lords wearing the extreme high heels, which really added to the bird-like aesthetic. Also, they give off the feeling of pain for me. Like the Lords of the Crows are so tough that they can put up with the pain of these shoes all day. I also like the Crimson costumes being a version of camo, as it really tied the events of the show to our world. That's another strength of the world building in my opinion. There was never a moment where I didn't feel like I wasn't in our world. Well, maybe everything except for the final scene of the series. Speaking of which, I thought the Bran Stark walkabout, Frodo with the ring storyline of Alia and the fantastically eccentric Moses,
Get out, Raiders, come back. Come on, get up.
played by Dark's Oliver Masucci, was compelling, and it provided a serviceable amount of mystery in the show. Also, whilst on the topic of Oliver Masucci, I thought he did a brilliant job with this character. He provided some much needed comic relief and portrayed the lone wolf adjusting to a mentor role to a T. I have to be honest, Masucci's character was nothing like what I expected. From his first scene where he calls Alia a scumbag,
Get out, Raiders, come back.
I was hooked. Seeing his range has made me hopeful that his upcoming role in Fantastic Beasts will launch him to more worldwide acclaim. Bold prediction, we'll see him as some sort of Bond villain type role in Hollywood in the next 10 years. However, part of me hopes he doesn't abandon the German film and TV scene altogether. He would be a big loss.
Holy fucking Mary.
Alright. I've done a lot of gushing about this show because I really did find it great fun, but I suppose I should include something which didn't quite sit right with me. For it, however, I'll need to go into spoilers. If you want to remain spoiler-free, then fast forward to the timestamp on the screen now. Similar to Biohackers, I feel the Tribes of Europa suffered slightly from being too short. I get it. Netflix would rather have a higher production value for 6 episodes rather than a lower production value for 8 episodes. However, it does mean that the story suffers for it. For example, when Liv is confronted with the decision whether to kill the father or not, it felt really rushed. I would have liked to see some more characterization of the father, before it was revealed that he has legitimate moral reasons for holding the political views that he does, and in fact, it seems that they were views that Liv and her people seem to hold as well. This was too quick. We went from having no idea who he was, to wanting him dead, to being on his side in less than half an hour of television. Unfortunately, I feel that this is going to be an issue going forward, as a lot of series are being made with 6 episodes now. However, being honest, for Tribes of Europa, I think that the trade-off was worth it. What they were able to achieve and the world they were able to create in 6 episodes is worth applause. The show is much better than I thought it was going to be. I really did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to season 2. Thanks very much for watching my review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next Saturday, I'm going to be having a discussion about Tribes of Europa where we'll go into things in more detail with my friend Emmett. Join us for that. I'm sure it'll be great fun. If you have any questions you'd like to ask us about the show, leave them under this video, and we'll just really delve into this show because I really did enjoy it and I want to talk about it. Right, guys, subscribe to the Culture Cave, like the video. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.